Hello comrades, and welcome to today's video where we are going to be ranking the Monsterverse movies. I was inspired to watch these films for two reasons. Reason number one, this Instagram reel that I saw.
Burn through the witches and 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 burn through the witches.
Why is that so compelling? The second reason is because I needed to get to know the character Mothra in preparation for the release of the film Mothma vs. Mothra. You can check out my other video that is all about that movie. But for now, we're gonna rank the Monsterverse, and we're gonna start at the bottom. The worst movie in the Monsterverse is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. The villains of this movie are eco-terrorists who have determined that the only way to save humanity from extincting itself is to wake up all of the Titan monsters, because when the Titan monsters fight, they spread a magical sort of plant-growing radiation. Now, this plan presumably would have worked perfectly, except for the fact that the one Titan they wake up right at the start turns out to be not the kind of Titan that will do all of that for them. And so, having woken up an evil giant monster that won't create a bunch of plant-growing radiation, we have to turn to the good guys of the film, which are the good guy US military and their good guy nukes, which feed a good guy Godzilla, who goes to fight the giant monster so that he can be crowned humanity's savior, or alpha monster. It's very unclear what Godzilla's motivation is. I feel like so many of these movies try to paint Godzilla as mankind's hero. However, at the same time, it seems like Godzilla's real motivation in everything that he does is he's an alpha male and he needs to be top daddy alpha dinosaur. And I feel like you can't have both. You can pick one, but you can't have both of those. And if you're picking the one that I think you're gonna pick, I don't know. They are both equally ridiculous, and both equally designed to appeal to a fan base of probably the worst dude bros you've ever heard of in your life. Now, it is just baffling to me that Godzilla became a tool for US military propaganda and nuke propaganda. How is it that the one Japanese character in the story delivers the nuke to Godzilla and sacrifices himself to blow up the nuke and make sure that Godzilla gets some food from it? It's so wrong. It's so wrong on so many levels. At the time of watching these movies, I had never seen a Japanese Godzilla movie. But even then, I knew that Godzilla was supposed to be an anti-war, anti-nuke thing. And we literally are utilizing him to say our military is the good guys and our nukes are helping Godzilla fight the monsters from the terrorists who want to save the environment. It's a terrible movie. After I watched this movie, I sat back and I said to myself, I need to watch a Japanese Godzilla movie stat. But I didn't. I kept watching the Monsterverse because this is only the third movie in the Monsterverse. In fourth place, we have Godzilla from 2014. Once again, your main character is a military boy, and you're supposed to be, what a good military boy, what a good family military boy, just trying to get home to his family and be a good soldier for his country. At the same time, it's also so painfully boring. And the one cool shot in the film is when the military do their little parachute thing with their feet shooting smoke out. I'm gonna call that thinly veiled US military propaganda in a Godzilla movie again, because that's what I think it is. And there are only like two cool scenes in the entire movie, and here they are. Hell yeah. I just saved you over 2 hours of your life. You're welcome. I'm not crazy about this director. He also made Rogue One, which I'm not crazy about. He did make The Creator, which I think was his first hit. I think that's the first time he's done a good job, but this is not it. In third place on the ranking, we have Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. First of all, Kong fights a Gyarados in this movie, I'm pretty sure. That's a Pokemon, Kong. What are you doing? We need to address that the Scar King monkey in this movie looks like one of those scrawny, fedora-wearing neckbeard types. He has terrible gamer posture. He looks like he spends all day watching anime. He also looks Irish for some reason, but I'm 25% Irish, so I can say that. Now, this was the movie that footage from the Instagram reel came from, so I sat down for this one, hoping for something that would give me the same feeling that Instagram reel gave me. And what I found was that this is just another drag. It is a slow-moving bore fest. The most impactful thing that this movie does is have Kong whip a child monkey around as like a pair of nunchucks. And that was awesome. So far, I regret every moment that I have spent on these movies. But maybe things will change when we talk about the movie in second place, Godzilla vs. Kong. This movie's kind of good. I can't lie. The film starts off with Godzilla attacking a giant corporation, and you thought my communist ass wasn't gonna like that? That was awesome. Now, outside of that opening, the rest of the film, in my eyes, literally is just two alpha male titans fighting each other to determine who is top daddy king alpha boy. And that's a little embarrassing for them. I was embarrassed for Kong, and I was embarrassed for Godzilla. I thought they both looked really childish and dumb. At least it was awesome. I mean, they were tearing stuff up. You know? It was finally what I was expecting these movies to be, which is just like dumb, giant action scenes between two giant monsters. And I was able to walk away and be like, that was some fun. It's been agony. It's been agony, folks. But I watched them all, so I have to make the video now. I'm sorry. Another blessing of this film is that it is not blatant military propaganda. That was very satisfying for me. I did like the human cast of this. It has the one Skarsgård boy in it. I think the best character of this film is actually the little girl who comes from Kong's island and has a special bond with him. She is so sweet. And when she cried at the end of the movie, I also cried along with her. She had that sort of power over me. As for whose side I'm on in the fight, Godzilla vs. Kong, I am Kong all day, 100%. And I think you're gonna realize why when you consider what movie I've put in the top spot. The best movie in the Monsterverse series is Kong Skull Island. I'm gonna break this down for you, and you are gonna lose your mind. This is the review that I wrote for Letterboxd for this movie. The reason why this movie rules is because Kong represents the Viet Cong, and the giant lizards represent the destructive and cancerous nature of capitalism, and Samuel L. Jackson's character is the human embodiment of the imperialist U.S. military's hubris and cruelty. Kong defends his home and those who peacefully live on it. The colonizing military force drops bombs on the land, not caring who or what they kill, and then seeks to slaughter Kong because how dare a giant monkey oppose colonialism. And in the military's hubris, they don't consider for one moment what it might mean for the island and for the world at large if Kong isn't there. Also, Brie Larson rules in this movie. There's so much to love here. I feel like Kong Skull Island should have been a standalone feature and the rest of the Monsterverse should not exist. That's it. That's the tea right there. I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. I think the reason why this doesn't get a full 5 stars is because I feel like the director did not realize what he was actually pulling off here. I think he just chose to set this during the Vietnam War to give it like some sort of retro war aesthetic, which is a bit cringe if that was the case. I mean, if he actually was using King Kong to represent the Viet Cong and their fight to oppose capitalism and United States imperialism, good on him, but I just don't think that that's exactly what he had in mind when he made Kong Skull Island. But I do think that that's what Kong Skull Island does. And that's why Kong is my GOAT. So, should you watch the Monsterverse if you haven't yet? No. If you are looking for a film that has fun giant monster fights, you can watch Godzilla vs. Kong. If you are looking for a solid, good movie, you can watch Kong Skull Island. But do not sit down like I did and watch the Monsterverse. Please, I am begging you. This was agony. It was so rough, comrade. Now, I gotta say, there is more to this ranking than meets the eye, because after I watched the Monsterverse, I desperately needed to cleanse my palate and watch some actually meaningful, good movies that featured giant monsters. So first off, I went to the library and I picked up Pacific Rim on Blu-ray, and that movie was such a breath of fresh air. That Pacific Rim is so good. Have you watched Pacific Rim? The whole concept of Pacific Rim is that there are these colonizing aliens who are sending these giant monsters to Earth to try to take over Earth. And all of humanity has united as one to build giant robots to oppose colonialism. And I'm sorry, but that's cool. Pacific Rim said free Palestine. But I didn't let it end there, because after watching the whole Monsterverse, I made my dream come true of watching a Japanese Godzilla movie. And I didn't watch just any Godzilla movie. I almost watched Godzilla -1 because that's the newest one, and a lot of people talked about that. Like, that one was actually good. But I watched the original Godzilla film from 1954. And yes, it's an anti-war, anti-nuke Godzilla movie. This is what I have been waiting for the entire Monsterverse. Godzilla said in this movie, and I quote, "Don't let the rich convince you that your freedom depends on you murdering working class people and their children in another country." Godzilla said that in the film Godzilla from 1954. And I agree with that entirely. Thank you, Godzilla. Thank you, Japan, for making Godzilla. And frick the US for putting US military propaganda and pro-nuke propaganda in their Godzilla movies. Thank you for watching. Just so you know, right now there's a glitch happening on YouTube where if you subscribe to this channel, you're freaking awesome automatically. It just happens. So get down there and subscribe while you can. Peace out. Goodbye.